Happy Saturday, Evensong. It is so good to be with all of you. I first want to say happy Mother's Day weekend to all of you who are moms by birth or moms by choice, and those of you who are just loving kiddos no matter what. So whether you're a grandmother that's helping with some kiddos, or aunts, or friends, and for those of you that are hurting right now because you desperately are hoping to become a mom, we are praying with you and we are walking with you through this journey. And so we know this weekend might be painful for you too, and for those of you that have a really hard relationship with your mom, know that we are praying and with you on that too. It is Saturday, and I love that I get to be with all of you on Saturday. I miss our time together. And what I realize is that we haven't asked a good question in a while. So this week's question is, Peyton's teacher actually asked it this week. He said, what's the worst thing that you've had for dinner in the last couple weeks? And the worst thing we had was, I'm trying to think what I cooked. There's probably lots of terrible things. We made stuffed spaghetti bread. So you make the bread and then you bake it, in theory, all the way, and then you stuff spaghetti into it that's cooked with sauce and all this other good stuff, so it should be really delicious. But if you don't cook the bread all the way, it's not. So that's what we did, and then we ended up eating peanut butter and jelly, and that's okay. But I think that's a really great question, because there's good food and there's bad food. We have a lot of really great things going on. Resurrect Our City is still happening. We have been passing out lunches downtown. We've added some projects onto the website. If you go to gosaintandrew.com/resurrect, you can sign up there. There's one that's being added to make meals for Casa de Paz. There is one being added to pack backpacks for people coming out of incarceration. So check that out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to tell you stories about all the things that are happening while we're serving right now. You also can give your offering there. Your offering helps us continue to do ministry. Just because we aren't in the building doesn't mean it's not happening, and so it's a great way for all of us to be able to continue to serve our St. Andrew community and the larger community as well. Our blood drive information will be sent out in the next week so that you can sign up for a time slot that works best for you. This week, I've shared a couple times that my soul is just tired. The world feels a little tricky. If you're on our Facebook page, you probably saw that we asked the question, how is your soul? And I really deeply believe that question is, it empowers us to be more honest or more vulnerable in our answers, and just say, how are you? Fine. How are you? Okay. How are you? Good. And I think that that's an okay thing to ask, right? It's a great way to do it. But for us, asking how our souls are requires some reflection, and it requires us to kind of do some deep digging. And so, as I was listening to a podcast about gathering this week, because gathering and community is one of my most favorite things. I love getting people together and connecting people with each other, and hearing stories and hearing what you're doing and getting to see your faces. And so I want to gather better. I want to make sure that when we get together again, that it's meaningful, and I'm not saying that what we do isn't meaningful, but I'm saying in every part of my life, like every gathering that I am a part of, I want to make sure that it's meaningful and special. And that sometimes that means it's just silly and it's fun, and that's okay. But in a time when we are suffering from isolation and loneliness, it's not going to be enough on the other side to just get together. We have to figure out ways to do that in ways that are meaningful, so that we can reconnect and we can learn to speak to people. I watched Blake, his friend, drove up to say hi from the car this week, and he didn't. It's like he forgot how to be a human, and I love him so much, and this is who he is. But he was just like, hi. And just sat there, and it was so awkward. And I'm trying to ask questions, and I was like, maybe if I move away, he'll figure it out. And they ended up playing Legos from the grass and from the car for a little bit. But I think there's adults like that are just going to struggle. But we have to figure out how to make this time count on the other end. And that doesn't mean that we do all the things, because I think culturally we can't do all the things. We have to figure out how to slow down and add more meaning into the things that we do. And when I think about that, I think about how we all have this desire to belong and this desire to become. And so we have to find places where we fit, and places that we can belong and where we're meant to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's really important for us to think about where we fit. I'm going to repeat it. So we have to find places where we fit, and where are there places where you can become who we are meant to be. And find the balance between the power of I and we. And so we're better when we're together. We're better when we accept each of us for who we are, and we can show up authentically into situations and into spaces where we love each other. And that means regardless of our differences. That means regardless of how we look, regardless of what we believe, regardless of things where we just disagree. And that doesn't mean that I make excuses if what you believe is harmful to other people. And so when I think about this week, and I think about the death of people at the hands of the death of Black people at the hands of white people. Bear with me, don't check out. I hear a lot of excuses about why it's happening, and it's not okay. The excuses aren't okay, and so I can love you, and I can say, no, you can't say that. Like somebody said to me, and I shared it in the email, but why were they running in a white neighborhood? It's not okay to say. It doesn't even make sense in the grand scheme of things to ask that. It's a neighborhood, and it's not a white neighborhood or a Black neighborhood. It's a neighborhood, and he has the freedom to run where he wants to run, and so I can love that person, and I deeply love a lot of people that are saying things like that, but I will not make excuses for them. So they can belong in community, and we can still call people on the things that they're saying that are hurtful. Does that make sense? And that means things about immigrants, that means things about the LGBTQ community, that means things about women, that means it's everything. We can love people, and they can have a place as long as they're not harmful. And so when you think about the circles that you're in, when you think about the places that you love so deeply, I want you to know that people can belong there, but they can't be harmful there. And so if they are harmful to your community, it's okay. They will find another place with people that think similarly to them. And so don't let people harm your circle. Don't let people harm you. Don't let people harm people that you love. And know that you need to find a place where you can become who you are meant to be, that is safe and that is loving. And I mean that in schools, I mean that in work, I mean that in church, I mean that in your neighborhood, I mean that everywhere. You need to know how deeply valued and loved that you are. And part of when we talk about self-emptying is figuring out how we can empty ourselves of the things that we were taught or the things that we just may think that we know in order to listen better and in order to think about how we can do better on the other side. And that means the other side of a pandemic. That means on the other side of like the day. That's just a general, the other side can mean so many things. And so I want everyone to always know their value. I want you to know your value. I want you to know that you're loved. I want you to know that you have a safe place and the circles that you are in. And when you gather, you can show up and be who you are, and that is safe and that you are loved. And so as we gather, I want it to be meaningful. And I want people to know that then when they walk in the room, that they have a place that they are so incredibly loved. And so I guess my hope is for you is if you're struggling with loneliness and isolation right now, or you are going bananas because there's lots of people in your space, that you can think about how we address this crisis of isolation on the other side, how we gather better, and how we live into the power of the we. How do we do this on the other side in community with each other in a way that's meaningful and special and reminds people of their value and their importance in the world. And I think that's it. And I think that it's gonna be such a gift to get together with all of you and hug you, and we will do it in really special ways. And I look forward to telling you more about how we are gonna do that, and when we get to do that pretty soon, hopefully. I hope you have a really great week. I would love to connect with you. If you need anything from us, please let me know. My email is jklo eppel@gostandandrew.com, or you can find me on through our Facebook page, and I will connect with you there. But you are so loved. You're so important. This community means so much to me, more to me than you will ever know. Have a really great rest of your Saturday. Bye, friends.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious song, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mountain fixed upon it, mount of God's unchanging love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing. Call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet